Hello my dear young and energetic physiotherapy. A very warm welcome to Diksha Vedantu YouTube channel. I am your master teacher Neha ma'am, and in today's session we are going to discuss about human eye and colorful world. In today's session within 30 minutes I am going to cover the entire chapter. If you want detailed video, I have already done it, which you can get in the channel page, or else I'll put the link in the description box. You can go and check out there also. This is a revision video, so quickly we'll be revising all the concepts that are related to human eye and colorful world. So without wasting much time, let's start today's session. So yeah, there is no need of telling again the session objectives. Every part of your chapter will be covered in today's session. Okay, moving ahead. So those who haven't subscribed the channel yet, just go and subscribe the channel. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and share the videos with your friends so that they can also get to know about these amazing sessions. So let's start with the parts of human eye. You know that in the human eye chapter, the important thing is defects of vision and drawing the human eye, right? So those who haven't learned how to draw the human eye, just go and learn them, and I'll be explaining the parts over here. Okay, on your screen you can see the human eye. Let's start by one. The outermost part of a human eye is called as cornea. So what is the function of this cornea? It is the outermost bulged part of human eye where 95% of the refraction occurs. Clear? So not refraction occurs in the lens. Most of the refraction occurs over the cornea, right? The next part we'll come across after the cornea is iris. In between that you have aqueous humor that protects our eyes from any dust particles. Okay, iris. What is iris? Over here you can see iris is nothing but the diaphragm, the dark muscular structure which controls the amount of light entering to our eye by expanding and contracting. So let me explain you it in more detail. So see here, iris is a dark muscular diaphragm between cornea and lens. Here there is cornea, inside that there is lens. Okay, and it controls the amount of light entering to the eye. How much? So this, if it expands, large amount of amount of light can enter to our eye. If it contracts, less amount of light enters to our eye. Okay, so this pupil, what is pupil? A small hole between the iris. This is iris, then there is a hole between them, so that is nothing but pupil. Pupil expands and contracts, right? After pupil, the next is eye lens, the lens. What is the function of the eye lens? It adjusts the focal length. The main function of eye lens is not refraction. Its main function is to adjust the focal length. And how is this eye lens? This eye lens is a transparent made up of jelly-like of material. It's a transparent lens made up of jelly-like of material. You can see the lens in your classrooms, they are hard. But the eye lens present in our eye is flexible. It can be thin or thick. So to adjust the focal length. Ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles are nothing but the muscles that hold the lens. To keep the lens at its position, ciliary muscles will be holding the lens. Sorry. So when focal length has to be increased, the ciliary muscles expand and lens becomes thin, focal length increases. If the ciliary muscles contract, lens becomes thick and your focal length decreases. So remember these points, they are extremely important. Moving towards the next part of a human eye, that is retina. Retina is nothing but a screen. Photosensitive screen means light sensitive screen. So in retina we have two types of cells. One is rods and another one is cone. So what is the function of rods? It detects the amount of light. Whether it is bright, whether it is dark, it is measured by the rods. And what's the function of cones? It detects the color of light. Which color, which is the wavelength that is reaching our eye, is detected by cones. So remember this properly. Rods measures the intensity, brightness of light, and cones measures the color of light. I hope that's clear. Yes. Moving forward to the power of accommodation. Before that, you can have once glance at the eye. So if they ask you to draw it properly, label all the parts and write. If they ask you to write their functions, you can write over these points, right? So moving forward, power of accommodation. So what is power of accommodation? The ability of our eye lens to adjust the focal length. Sometimes we'll be seeing far objects and sometimes we'll be seeing near objects. So the focal length has to be adjusted and it is done by the lens. So this is nothing but the power of accommodation. The lens is composed of fibrous jelly-like of material. Its curvature can be modified, I said you right, by the movement of ciliary muscles. So we have already discussed about this. Yeah. Moving forward, so I have said this, when the muscles relax, lens becomes thin, focal length increases. All of the concept I have told you earlier only. Okay. Now, we come across far point and near point. Far point is nothing but the farthest distance where we can see the things. Okay. You can write it as the maximum distance at which I can see objects clearly is nothing but a far point. And for a normal human eye, the far point is infinity. Coming towards the near point, it's the lowest distance where you can see the objects clearly. Beyond that distance, you can't see the object, right? So what is it for the normal human eye? It is considered to be 25 centimeters. I hope that's clear. Moving forward, defects of vision, which is the important topic of this session, right? So we come across myopia, nearsightedness, hypermetropia, farsightedness, presbyopia, astigmatism and cataract. So we'll be discussing about these 5 defects. What is myopia? As the short name suggests, it can only see the short distance. The person suffering with myopia can see the objects which are near, but he can't see the objects which are very far. Okay, so let's start. A person with this eye defect can only see the near objects but not the as compared to the distinct objects. It's the definition of myopia. Why myopia is caused? They may ask in a question. Write the causes of myopia. You have to write excessive curvature of eye lens or elongation of eyeball is the reason for myopia. Image is formed in front of retina. Okay. Here the image is formed in front of retina. I have explained the defects of vision separately in a session which was under 15 minutes. You can go and check out that also. So see here, whenever the myopic person sees at the farthest object, parallel rays enter but they converge before the retina. Okay. Whenever they converge or they meet on the retina, only at that time we can see the object. If it is before or behind retina, we can't see those things clearly. Hence, to correct this defect, to take this on the retina, we use diverging lens, that is concave lens. So, concave lens is used to correct myopia. Hypermetropia, big name, you can see farther distance, but not the objects which are near. So, what is hypermetropia? A person with this eye defect can see the distinct objects clearly compared to that of near objects. Why it is caused? It is caused due to long focal length, yeah, or the eyeball is too small. Clear? If eyeball elongation is for myopia, eyeball small for hypermetropia. So remember these points. What happens as the focal length is more, the image is formed behind the retina and we have to bring it forward, right? So we will be using converging lens, which is convex lens. Hence, convex lens is used to correct this defect. Moving forward, presbyopia. It's a defect caused in the olden age of the people, right? Why? Because of the weakening of ciliary muscles. We know in old age, people muscles will be weakening, right? As that ciliary muscles inside our eyes also gets weakened, so people will be facing the difficulty to focus. Sometimes they cannot see nearby objects, sometimes they cannot see the farthest object. So how to correct this? As there is 2 defects, so we will be using bifocal lens. That is both convex and concave lens will be present in the correction of presbyopia. Moving forward, astigmatism. So what is astigmatism? Common vision problem which you cannot see a grid properly. Okay, you can see over the image. The grid will be somewhat distorted shape. You'll be seeing that. So we'll be using cylindrical lens to correct this defect. The last but not the least defect, that is cataract. Cataract defect is also caused in the old age of the people due to milky or cloudiness over the eye lens. Eye lens should be transparent to get the image. Due to the presence of milky or cloudiness, the person may partially lose his vision or completely also. And the only way to correct this defect is to undergo cataract surgery. I hope that's clear now. Okay. So moving forward. Yes. Okay, just a second, guys. Okay. Yes. So now we are discussing about the colorful world. Starts with refraction through prism. When a light enters to the prism, it gets deviated. It bends with different angles. So what they cause is, they cause dispersion of light. What is dispersion of light? When white light enters the prism, it gets splits into 7 colors. This process is nothing but dispersion. So you can read out the slide. When a white light is incident on a glass prism, it splits into incident white light into band of colors. Different colors of light bend to different angles, and we know that violet bends the most and red bends the least. Okay, this is about dispersion. You come across the recombination, Newton's recombination. So what is this recombination? If you keep one prism, the white light enters the prism, it splits into 7 colors. Take another prism, keep it inverted. When these 7 colors pass through the second prism, it will combine and form white light. This is nothing but the recombination. Moving forward, dispersion of white light. So we have studied about dispersion of white light, where we can see the application. We can see it in the formation of rainbow. How the rainbows are formed. When the white light from the sun enters the atmosphere, the moisturizer or the water droplets present in the atmosphere, the water droplets acts as the tiny prism, and the light gets split into 7 colors which will be dispersed on the sky, which we can see as a rainbow, right? So rainbow formation is an example for the process of dispersion. Let's move forward. Next one is atmospheric refraction. What happens in atmospheric refraction? The light ray entering from the space to our earth has to undergo multiple refraction through the atmosphere. Why? Because our atmosphere consists of different layers, and different layers have different refractive index. And we know that when a light enters from one medium to another medium, it will bend. Hence, this process is called as atmospheric refraction. You can read it out. The refraction of light by Earth's atmosphere is called as atmospheric refraction. Bending of light rays when it passes through one layer of Earth to other different layer due to their change in their optical densities. Clear? So, and a beautiful example for this is twinkling of stars. How we can see the twinkling of stars is due to this process of atmospheric refraction. You can see that the light ray gets displaced, right? So because of that displacement, the original position of star and the apparent position of star will be different. Sometimes the light ray may reach your eyes and sometimes it may not. So that will be appearing as a blink, and that is called as twinkling of stars. The twinkling of star effect, the twinkling effect of star is due to the atmospheric refraction of a straight light. The straight light undergoes continuous refraction as it passes through the atmosphere before reaching Earth. Another example is early sunset, sunrise and delayed sunset. What's early sunrise? Sunrise is considered when the sun comes above the horizon. Now you can see in the picture the sun is below the horizon. So according to our terminology, sun is not rise, right? So but Due to again this atmospheric refraction, the light rays reaches the person standing on the earth. The sun is not yet rise, but also the person can see the sun and he feels that sun is already risen. Okay, the time difference between this process is 2 minutes, and similar thing happens with the sunset also. Clear? The sun disk is also due to the same phenomenon. We can see a disk around the sun, that is also because of the same phenomenon. Next is scattering of light. The light scatters when it collides on a particle. This process is nothing but scattering of light. In this we come across the Tyndall effect. The Tyndall effect is the phenomenon in which particles in the collide scatter the beam of light. Very simple. There's a particle, there's a light ray coming, it will strike and get scattered all over it. So that is simply scattering of light. And you can see it with the diagrammatic representation also. When there is particles, when there is a colloidal solution, only at that time we can see the movement or the passage of light. Clear? Yes. Scattering of light is why the sky appears blue, right? Why sky always appears blue? It can't be red, it can't be green. Why? So the answer is because of the particles. The particles present in the atmosphere will be small and the wavelength of violet light is also less. So what happens when the violet or the blue light strikes on this, it will scatter in all the direction. Violet light is not so sensitive to our eyes. It will scatter so much that we cannot see it. But the blue light scatters in a particular portion that will enable our eyes to see it. Red light scatters the least because the particle is small and the wavelength of red light is more. It will just pass through that. Okay, this is the reason why sky appears blue most of the time. And the next thing is why the color of sun is red. Okay, as we had seen, the white light coming from the sun gets split into 7 colors, and blue light, violet light, they get scattered. But the red, orange, yellow, least scattering lights directly reach our eyes from the sun. Hence, sun appears in red color. Okay. So yeah, this was about today's video. I hope this session has helped you. If you like this video, hit the like button and share the videos with your friends. And also, if you have any doubt, any questions, you can put it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let's meet again in the next session. Bye.